So I built a job processing system in Spring Boot where the client fires off a request, gets a job ID back instantly, and then opens a single connection that pushes real-time updates as the job progresses. No pulling loops, no block threads, and the actual job? It generates images using AI, but honestly the image generation part is just the excuse. The real-time meat here is the backend architecture. This same pattern works for payment processing, video transcoding, report generation, basically anytime you're calling something slow. Let me walk you through it. Okay, so picture this. You have an external API that takes 10, maybe 30 seconds to respond. The lazy approach, call it synchronously. Your controller calls the service calls the API, and the whole thing just sits there, blocks. The thread is gone, the client is staring at a spinner, and nobody's happy. What we're going to build is way cleaner. The client gets an instant response, just a job ID. The backend picks up the work asynchronously with Reactor, so zero threads blocked. And here's the nice part. The client subscribes to a server-sent event stream that gets status updates pushed to them in real time. When the job is done, they know immediately. For our external service, I'm using the Luma image generation API, the Uni-1 model. The cool thing about this model is that it actually reasons about your prompt before it generates anything. So you don't need to be precise with prompt engineering. Just describe what you want and it figures out the intent. It can do three things through one endpoint: basic text to image, reference guided generation, which means that you pass in reference images and it keeps that visual style consistent, and image editing. You give it an existing image, describe the change, and it applies just that change. It's pretty slick. Now, Luma's own API is async. You submit, get an ID, poll until it's done. So it's actually a perfect candidate for wrapping in our own job system. Let's do it. Project setup is straightforward. It's basically a standard Spring Boot application. We need two dependencies, the web starter for our REST endpoints and the web flux for web client and Reactor. Web client gives us non-blocking HTTP calls and Reactor gives us the reactive operators we'll use for the polling. And in application properties, we just need the API key and the base URL, so nothing really fancy here. Now, before we touch any Luma code, let's start with an interface, which is the classic strategy pattern. Our job system shouldn't care if we are using Luma, Dolly, or anything else. It just needs something that can generate images. Notice the return type here, mono of string. That's Reactor's way of saying you'll get a string eventually. The generation methods are fully non-blocking. The download is just a plain byte array because that only one runs when the client asks for the final image, which is a quick one-shot fetch. Alright, now the Luma implementation. This is the fun part. We set up two web clients, one configured for the Luma API with the auth header, and one plain client for downloading images later. Every generation method does the same two things. Submit to Luma, then poll until it's done. Submit is simple, pause to the generation's endpoint, and grab the ID from the response. Now the polling, and this is where it gets interesting. You could do a while through with Thread.sleep and call it a day, but that blocks a thread for the entire duration. Instead, we're using Reactor's repeatWhenEmpty. Okay, let me break this down. Mono.defer makes sure we get a fresh HTTP call every time. The flat map checks the state. If it's completed, it emits the URL. If it's failed, it emits an error. Still processing, return mono.empty. And here's the trick. repeatWhenEmpty sees that empty signal and goes, alright, I'll wait 2 seconds and try again. No threads sitting around waiting, no Thread.sleep. Reactor handles all the scheduling under the hood. And timeout is our safety net. So 5 any max, then it gives up. Each public method just chains submit into poll basically. Reference and edit flow follow the exact same shape, just different request bodies. Now the job model. Simple status enum, pending, processing, completed, and failed. You've seen this 100 times. The image job class is where it gets more interesting. It holds the usual stuff, so ID, status, image URL, timestamps. But it also has a Reactor Sink. Think of it like a pipe. You push events in on one end, and on the other end, there's a flux that anyone can subscribe to. Every time we call setStatus, it does two things. Updates the field and pushes the new status into the sink. When the job hits a terminal state, it completes the sink, which automatically closes any SSC connection listening to it. One nice detail here. Replay.latest means if a client connects after the job already finished, they still get a final status right away. No, sorry, you missed it. The job service ties everything together. Jobs live in a ConcurrentHashMap, good enough for a demo, thread safe, no database to set up. The submit job method is the heart of this whole thing. It creates the job, picks the right generation method based on the type, and calls subscribe. And that's the moment subscribe fires off the entire reactive pipeline in the background and returns immediately. The client gets their own job ID back in milliseconds. When the chain finishes, success or failure, the subscribe callbacks update the job. And because setStatus pushes to the sink, any SSC client that's listening gets the update instantly. That's the whole flow. Reactive chain finishes, sync fires, SSC delivers. No glue code, no manual or wiring. The controller is clean, 4 endpoints, submit, check status, stream via SSE, and download the image. Now the SSE endpoint, this is the one I'm excited about. It returns a flux of server sent event objects. Spring sees that return type and goes, got it, I'll keep this connection open and stream events as they come. And that's it, 4 lines of actual logic. The sink does all the heavy lifting. When the job status changes, the event flows through the sink, into the flux, out through SSE, and into the client's connection. When the sink completes, the connection closes itself. And the image endpoint serves the raw bytes. You can see the result right in Postman. Alright, enough code, let's see it work. I'm gonna submit a job and watch the SSE stream at the same time. So I want to generate an image which describes a photorealistic laptop showing Java code on a desk in a cozy coffee shop, warm lighting, shallow depth of field. Boom, 202 accepted, job ID back already. Now let me open the SSE stream for this job. And right away, processing event comes through. So now the backend is doing its thing, polling Luma every 2 seconds, all non-blocking. And we're just sitting here with an open connection waiting. There it is, completed. Image URL right there in the event data. And the connection just closed itself. Now let's actually see the image. Look at that. The lightning, the depth of field, code on the screen, all from just a text description. That's the Luma Uni-1 model doing its thing. You just describe what you want and it figures out the rest. Quick detour to show you the other 2 Luma capabilities. For reference guided generation, same endpoint, just change the type to reference and pass in some reference image URLs. The model locks onto that visual style and keeps it consistent. So for that one, we want a server room at night with glowing rack lights. And we're gonna provide a reference URL from the previous image. See how the style carries over? Same color palette, same vibe. Really useful if you're building something where brand consistency matters. And from our backend's perspective, it's the same job system, same SSE flow, just a different request body. For editing, type edit, pass the source image URL, and describe what you want changed. You want to change the laptop screen to show a terminal with green text on a black background. There it is. Laptop screen change, everything else untouched. 3 capabilities, 1 unified job endpoint. The client experience is identical for all of them. Alright, let's zoom out. What did we actually build here? 3 patterns all working together. The strategy pattern, so our image generation service interface keeps the job system completely decoupled from Luma. Want to swap it with DALL-E tomorrow? Just write a new implementation. The job system doesn't change at all. Fully non-blocking job processing, no async annotations, no thread pulls, no Thread.sleep. The client gets an instant response and Reactor's repeatWhenEmpty handles the polling in the background without blocking a single thread. And the server sent events. Instead of the client hammering our API every 2 seconds, we push the answer to them. 1 open connection, real-time updates, clean disconnect when it's done. And the whole thing is wired together through a sink, 4 lines of code in the controller. This works for way more than image generation. Payment processing, video transcoding, CI/CD pipelines, long-running reports. Anytime you're wrapping a slow operation, this is the pattern. With that, I hope you found this video useful. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.